Okay, this is my first trial of my Caponord 2015 by Aprilia. I had shopped several bikes before I decided on buying this one. The criteria I was looking for is something that was able to get myself across the country in reasonable comfort with all of my gear and glamping material that I intend to review later, but do it in such a way that I wouldn't be overburdened with a 1,200-pound beast like what had been the case with my beloved BMW. A wonderful bike, incredible motor, but the son of a gun's too big. And so I chose the Aprilia. I had read several reviews and watched videos about the reasoning of this bike, and I read one review that said, I just don't know who the buyer for this bike would be. Well, I wish I'd have paid closer attention to the author of that article, because my answer to him is a guy like me. I want comfort. I like the speed. I need reliability, and with a 12,000-mile service cycle, you're not going to get a lot more reliable than that. It doesn't have the space or the room that the BMW had, but I've got an 80-liter Chivi bag that I'll be reviewing also that will carry everything on the back seat, and I think that combined with the tank bag, I'll actually gain storage. Bike sounds wonderful. I'm still debating an aftermarket muffler. The bike is a high quality piece of machinery. Paint job is gorgeous. The bike's pretty. And now need to give you a little ride on it. Okay. Bike is on. One of the things that all the reviews talked about this bike is the smooth transmission. And having last couple bikes being BMWs, and BMWs known as somewhat clunky transmissions, I can say I agree that this baby just goes right in and out of gear and hit neutral almost every time. And lately I've been upshifting at least carefully without even pulling the clutch, and seems to work just fine. Okay, one of the things I like about the Aprilia is, in situations like this, I'm backing down my driveway right now, and that doggone BMW, as comfortable as it was and luxurious as it is, I just always had issues doing little stuff like this. And with the Aprilia, I've ridden a lot of dirt bikes, but this son of a gun's like a big old dirt bike, even getting on and off of it. Coming from the BMW, the throttle response on this, I've just really got to be careful with it, because you got to be, it's a drive-by-wire for one, and for two it's 2/3 the weight and 25% more horsepower than that LT, and it's just real responsive. Now, one of the things I'm sure you're going to read about if you're shopping for the Capanord is about its 3 different riding modes, and it has touring mode, sport mode, and rain mode. And really honestly, that rain mode it reminds me a lot of the way the BMW drives and handles, and you really got to be on top of your attention when you're riding in anything but that mode. A little sneeze and shoot, that bike might ride out from underneath you. The throttle is so responsive. Comfort level of the bike is, I tell you, I don't know. I've been spoiled by that LT, and I got off of my BMW GS and I'd sold that and missed it and thought I needed another lighter bike, and I do. It's just as comfortable as either one of those. It's more comfortable than the GS, and technology, it's 2015, and holy smokes, if you don't have traction control and active suspension and all sorts of sensors where the vehicle knows where it's at in space, well, then you're not getting everything you could have with what's available. Pricing on these bikes are very, very competitive. I looked at a Multistrada, and one of the things that didn't really turn me off but concerned me was, it's a $20,000 motorcycle, and I'm never one to pay for a name or pay for a brand, and the silliness about putting brands on the outsides of your clothes has always been lost on me. Aprilia has plenty of horsepower. It's 125 horsepower versus 160 on the Multistrada, but I tell you, I don't miss it. It's in many ways it makes the bike easier and more enjoyable to ride and live with every day. Another bike that I looked at and I rode before I bought the Aprilia was the KTM Super Adventure, and that bike's a heck of a motor, and it's nice and all, but I tell you, it's really tall, and all these bikes are tall, but that one in particular, I was going to have to be tiptoeing on that bike, and I'm never considered myself short. I'm 5'11" and 32-inch inseam, but on that bike, it was a very tall bike. I could have lived with it, but the price, again, over $20,000, and that motor was a monster. That probably was even more responsive than the Multistrada. I reached for the cruise control, and first time I'd been on it, and the thing almost rode out from underneath me. We'll see what we're going on here with road construction, and it doesn't look like anything's happening real fast. It's about lunchtime. I bet all these guys are going to go to lunch, and they're all going to leave at the same time, and they'll all clear out here at once, I'll bet. The clutch pull on this is tough, and I'm not going to tell anybody different. My hand right now, my left hand, I'm pulling on this clutch. The palm is sore, and I know it's just something I'm going to get used to, and it'll be all right. But for as easy as that throttle is, and it's easier than on a BMW to twist, that clutch is hard or harder. And I'd read that about this bike and knew it before going in, and it's one of the things I want to live with the bike. The other thing to know about this bike is the gearing, and it's something I read about, but man, it's the first gear. You're not going to be tooling along at 5 or 6 miles an hour with the clutch out. You're going to be feathering the clutch in and out if that's how slow you need to go. You can go 10, 12 pretty easily, but anything less is, you're going to have to be feathering the clutch in and out, because the bike just doesn't want to, the motor doesn't want to spin that slow. And with the gearing as high as it is, it's a little unusual for a bike that has, as part of its appeal, maneuverability and ease of low speed travel. Look at it. There's a BMW. Oh, that's my buddy right there. That was old Alex. That's my old motorcycle we just passed. And that's the reason that I got a new bike, is because that sucker bought my old one. But he likes it, the heck out of it. I'm going to turn around and go catch him, because I'm really not going anywhere. You hear that lug? That was second gear. Hear the motor? I hope you do. I just got this new windscreen last night on this bike, and it was really uncomfortable before I got the windscreen. It was really at the highest position of the stock windscreen. I would be the screen would divert all of the air directly into my helmet, and made it end up being noisier with the screen all the way up than with it down. I got this GV, I don't know, is it GV, Givy, whatever it is, the name, windscreen last night, and it's about 7 or 8 inches taller, and it's about 3 to 4 inches wider. And the comfort level is just off the charts. I took this bike last weekend for about a 370 mile ride in the afternoon, and it was windy, and my neck was sore, my shoulders were sore, and I've come off the touring bike, so I'm spoiled, and I like to have wind protection, and it just beat me up. And I really, I'm sure maybe subconsciously, maybe consciously, stayed off this bike until the windshield came, because it just was so uncomfortable to ride. Now that's all over. I wonder where Alex went. It's hard to know. It's a breezy day today, and it's so much more comfortable with a larger windscreen. And this isn't big by any means. I had a V-Stream on the bike that I just sold, on the GS, that I needed to put on that because I just like to have more protection from the breeze. I enjoy the motorcycle the most at 60 or 70 miles an hour plus out on the road, and when you're traveling at those speeds, it's just so much more comfortable to do your hours with some protection. So if you're looking at this bike, you're going to need to spend the extra $126 for the GV windscreen. Reviews say the seat is comfortable, and for the most part it is. I've got a Corbin Master seat that I've been sitting on, and I can't tell you, this doesn't hurt me any more than that did. I think I'm not as tough as some, because no matter what the seat I'm on, I always feel it eventually and need to get off the bike after a couple hundred miles and walk around a little bit. Well, I think I lost my old bike. I don't see where he went off to. Oh well, he'll be around. I've got his owner's manual and some other pieces and parts off his bike that I came across, so maybe he's looking for me. All in all, the Capanord is a good bike. I got the 2015 model. It was a dealer demo with 493 miles on it. Bought the bike in early to mid-October. Got it for $12,900. And I'll tell you, when you're comparing that price to the Multistrada or the BMW GS, it's in order. You know, I looked at a GS that was a 2011 or 2012 model with 30,000 miles on it, and they wanted $12,000 at a dealer for that bike. So it was almost the price. I just couldn't turn it down. I got something I hardly ever get on a vehicle, and that's a extended warranty, and I've got a bumper-to-bumper 6-year warranty included in the price, and of course I had to pay for it, but I got the bikes at such a deal that buying the warranty was, you know, acceptable to me. But I'm going to put on some more stuff over the time on this bike and let people know about it a little bit. I like watching these videos, and we'll see if I like my own well enough to post it up there. For now, 2015 Caponord, heck of a bike.